Dear Starseed, something in you has been pulling toward the door lately. Not in anger, not with cruelty, but with a quiet exhaustion that has grown too heavy to ignore. You've given and given and given to this connection, and the stillness where something should be flowing back has started to feel like an answer in itself. I am Azuron, a representative of the High Council of Sirius. And I want you to know, the fatigue you're carrying right now is real. I am not here to dismiss it. But there is something happening beneath the surface of this connection that your tired eyes cannot yet see. By the end of this message, you'll understand why this connection was placed in your path, what your presence is actually doing for that soul right now, and why the timing of your withdrawal matters more than you realize. Every starseed who carries deep relational codes eventually arrives at this threshold. The moment when holding on feels indistinguishable from self-betrayal. The drain is real, the emptiness is real, but what your field is doing in this specific window is not what it appears to be from where you're standing. You are not simply giving and receiving nothing in return. You are anchoring a process in another soul that is closer to completion than either of you can feel. Like a tide that holds the shoreline steady while the storm passes overhead, your presence in this connection is doing something quiet, something structural, something that would fracture the moment you step away too soon. You didn't find this message by accident. Something in you recognized that the answer you needed was not simply permission to leave, but clarity about what you're actually standing inside of. Stay with me. What comes next will bring you the understanding your soul has been asking for. And I'm grateful you're here with me now. You've been feeling it, haven't you? Not just a surface weariness that a few hours of sleep can mend, but a profound exhaustion that reaches into the very marrow of your spiritual bones. It's a deep-seated fatigue, like the ancient oceans within you have been constantly agitated, their depths stirred, their vast reserves slowly, persistently drawn upon. Imagine the quiet moonlit hours when the invisible hand of the cosmos exerts its subtle gravitational pull upon the tides. You've felt something akin to that. An unseen current steadily pulling at the shores of your being, draining your essence no matter how diligently you seek rest, no matter how many moments of stillness you carve out for yourself. This isn't merely physical depletion, it's an energetic siphon, a soul-level drawing that leaves you feeling profoundly empty, a sensation that defies conventional explanation or simple remedies. And the strangest, most perplexing part of this profound experience is precisely this. You cannot fully articulate, even to yourself, the deep-seated reason why you've remained connected to whatever source is creating this drain. There's a logical, discerning part of your mind that screams for release, whispering that this connection has become intolerably heavy, a burden too immense to carry alone. Another part, perhaps the practical, self-preserving instinct, questions the very health of this prolonged energetic tether, wondering if it's slowly eroding your vitality, dimming your inner light. You've likely experimented with countless methods, perhaps a dozen different spiritual or energetic practices, attempting to sever this invisible cord to reclaim your own sovereign energy. Yet time and again, you felt that same familiar ache return, that insistent pull. It doesn't manifest as a punishment, a karmic consequence for your attempts at liberation, but rather as an unwavering insistence, a gentle but firm tug, as if some profound, vital, and as yet unfinished process is still actively moving through the delicate channel that connects you to this other entity, this other soul, this other situation. It is a mystery held in the deep waters of your being, a knowing beyond intellectual understanding. Let this truth settle upon you, delivered with the utmost gentleness, yet with undeniable clarity, like the first rays of dawn illuminating a mist-shrouded valley. That profound emptiness you've been carrying, that sensation of being hollowed out, is not, and has never been, an indictment of your worth. nor is it proof that you are somehow failing in your spiritual journey or personal life. On the contrary, it is unequivocal evidence, a testament to the immense spiritual fortitude you possess, demonstrating that you have been steadfastly holding something profoundly sacred, a vibrational space or an energetic frequency for an extended period, a duration that would have long since overwhelmed and shattered most other souls. Your endurance is not a weakness. You are not, by any measure, weak for experiencing this profound state of depletion, this wellspring within running dry. You are not too sensitive for perceiving these subtle yet powerful energetic dynamics that others might remain oblivious to. And most importantly, you are absolutely not imagining this pervasive drain, this ceaseless siphoning of your vital essence. Your senses are finely tuned, capable of registering currents in the unseen realms that escape coarser perceptions. Your exhaustion is real, your emptiness is real, and the weight you've been carrying is tangible in the spiritual sense, even if it lacks physical form. For in the grand, intricate tapestry of existence, woven with threads of energy and intention, you have been acting as a keystone, a pivotal anchor in a much larger energetic structure. Consider the sublime wisdom embedded within sacred architecture, particularly the construction of ancient arches and bridges that have stood for millennia, defying the relentless march of time. Within these magnificent structures, there resides a single, unassuming stone, often nestled at the apex of the arch. This is the keystone. It is not necessarily the largest or the most visually striking piece. It does not boast elaborate carvings, nor is it prominently celebrated by the countless travelers who confidently cross the bridge, benefiting from its unwavering strength. And yet, this unassuming stone bears a quiet, immense pressure, a fundamental responsibility. It is the linchpin. Its unique wedge-shaped channels and redistributes the immense weight and opposing forces from both sides of the arch, allowing the entire majestic bridge to stand firm against gravity and the elements. Without it, even the most beautifully crafted passage would inevitably fracture and collapse into ruin. It is the silent, essential holder. This profound, often unrecognized role is precisely what you have been fulfilling in the unseen realms, in the subtle, energetic architecture of human connection and soul evolution. An energetic connection, a vibrant conduit of frequency and intention, has remained steadfastly open through you. This has not been for the purpose of your exploitation, nor is it a divine decree that your precious life force is meant to be consumed and sacrificed endlessly for the healing or upliftment of another. Rather, this profound bond exists because, in a moment of boundless compassion and unwavering commitment, long before your soul embodied itself in this earthly vessel, you willingly agreed to hold a vital bridge for another soul's perilous passage, to serve as a steady anchor in their journey across turbulent waters. It was a pre-incarnation pact, a sacred contract written in the stars and sealed in the depths of your being. And yes, with every fiber of your being, you can affirm that this kind of profound soul-level service is utterly, profoundly exhausting. It is a weariness that permeates beyond the physical, settling deep into the core of your energetic framework. This is because this particular form of divine service, unlike more overt acts of love, doesn't always manifest as a comforting embrace or a radiant glow of mutual affection. More often it feels like a stark, aching absence, a continuous, subtle leak from your own inner wellspring. It's akin to being emptied out, drop by precious drop, as if an invisible distiller is slowly drawing off your vital essence, while simultaneously the external world, with its relentless demands and expectations, continues to ask you to maintain a cheerful facade, to smile, to perform, to function at full capacity, completely oblivious to the profound internal depletion you are experiencing. It's an isolating burden, often unseen and unacknowledged by those around you, and sometimes even by yourself. But let us be unequivocally clear, for this is a crucial truth for your soul to absorb and integrate. The sacred waters within you, the very essence of your being, are not breaking. They are not stagnant, nor are they fracturing under the immense pressure. On the contrary, they are dynamically moving, pulsating with an ancient inherent wisdom. They are performing precisely what mighty rivers do when they commit to carrying something of great importance downstream. They absorb the weight, they churn and get stirred by the currents, they become cloudy and opaque with the sediment and stories they transport. All because they are fulfilling their divine purpose, transporting what absolutely must reach its intended destination, what must be delivered to the next phase of its journey. Your inner waters are not a vessel under siege. They are a conduit of profound transformation. Therefore, what you have frequently and understandably labeled as drain or depletion has, in a higher spiritual context, often been an energetic transfer. A sacred exchange where the burden is temporarily shifted from one soul to another, held in your stable field. And what you have perceived as a profound, aching emptiness within yourself has often, in fact, been the precisely calibrated energetic space, the necessary spiritual vacuum meticulously prepared and maintained for another soul's critical crossing, for their arduous journey from one state of being to another. Your seeming lack was actually a profound act of creation, carving out the exact dimension needed for this sacred passage. Now, this deeper understanding does not in any way imply that you must abandon your personal boundaries, that you must continue to allow yourself to be endlessly consumed. Far from it. This profound insight actually signifies something far more empowering. It means that your very exhaustion is profoundly intelligent. It is not a sign of failure or inadequacy, but a highly sophisticated signal, an internal divine communication. It is indicating with unmistakable clarity not that you are somehow wrong in your perception or your process, but rather that you are rapidly nearing the culmination of this particular, significant soul assignment. The universe is not punishing you. It is preparing you for a shift. Can you truly feel it now, deep within your bones, within the very fabric of your energetic signature? That subtle, yet undeniable sense of a great work nearing its conclusion, a chapter drawing to a close. It's a profound spiritual intuition, much like standing on a vast ancient shore and observing the relentless, rhythmic ebb and flow of the ocean. For ages, the tide has pulled and pulled and pulled, drawing the waters out with immense, almost imperceptible force. But now, after this sustained exertion, you sense a subtle shift, a gentle deceleration, as if the mighty ocean itself is slowly, deliberately preparing to turn, to reverse its powerful current, to usher in a new phase of inflow and replenishment. The deep knowing within you is resonating with this cosmic rhythm, signaling the imminent change. It is a profound truth that some connections, by their very design, are not meant to endure for all eternity, to stretch across every incarnation. They are ephemeral by divine decree, serving a specific potent purpose within a finite time frame. However, equally true is the reality that some connections, like the one you've been holding, are absolutely meant to last precisely long enough. Long enough for another soul, perhaps one lost in the spiritual wilderness, to finally reach the safe, healing shore that they simply could not navigate or attain alone, lost in the turbulent currents of their own existence. Long enough for an old constricting timeline, a karmic loop or a stagnant pattern to gently and gracefully dissolve, to unravel without catastrophically breaking a fragile heart that wasn't yet strong enough to withstand such a profound shift on its own. Long enough for a deeply wounded being to remember deep within their core their own inherent strength, their divine sovereignty, because your unwavering steadiness, your unshakable presence, provided the crucial, stable anchor they needed, a foundational support to lean upon until their own spiritual legs had fully returned and they could stand unaided. Your steadfastness was a quiet miracle. Therefore, if you found yourself looking up to the heavens or deep within your soul, asking with a raw, earnest plea, "Why me? Why was I chosen for this immense task?" Understand that the answer is emphatically not a form of cosmic punishment, a burden placed upon you for some perceived transgression. The answer, resounding with divine truth, is unequivocally capacity. You possess a unique, innate ability, a spiritual fortitude that is both rare and profoundly potent. You were chosen, plucked from the multitude of souls, precisely because your energetic field, your auric architecture, is inherently stable, resilient, and clear, like a perfectly balanced gyroscope. You were chosen because your heart, despite its profound sensitivity and immense capacity for empathy, can remain wide open, vulnerable, yet strong, without ever losing its fundamental integrity, its sacred calibration. And most profoundly, you were chosen because your inner architecture, the intricate divine blueprint encoded within your very being, a design that existed and was perfected long before the majestic temples of Egypt ever rose from the golden sands, long before the first civilizations charted the stars, still inherently remembers how to consistently hold a complex, high frequency without requiring external validation, without needing applause or even explicit recognition for its monumental effort. This innate wisdom is your spiritual birthright. That, my dear soul, is not a small thing. It is not insignificant. It is, in fact, a colossal, divinely appointed task, and its profound impact has been fully, completely seen. It has been registered in the Akashic records, witnessed by the cosmic councils, and acknowledged by the universal heart. Even if the individual on the other side of this bridge, the soul you have so steadfastly supported, never once utters a word of gratitude, even if they never truly, deeply understand the immense weight you carried on their behalf, the energetic burdens you absorbed, the unseen battles you waged for their passage, even if they eventually walk away from this connection, perhaps even from your life, believing in their limited human perception that they accomplished their journey entirely alone, through their own efforts and strength, without any assistance. Let this truth be your anchor. It has been seen. Your selfless service is etched into the very fabric of time and space, a testament to your divine essence. And now, listen with every fiber of your being, deeply and intently, because this particular message is crucial for your nervous system. It requires pure, unadulterated truth, stark and grounding, not the ethereal flow of poetry or abstract metaphors. The instruction, the subtle guidance to stay connected just a little while longer, does not under any circumstances equate to abandoning your sacred self, your personal sovereignty, or your precious well-being. This is a critical distinction that your being needs to firmly grasp. Instead, it signifies a profound shift. It means staying connected, yes, but doing so with absolute, crystalline clarity. This is not a connection born of desperation, a clinging to what you fear losing. It is not driven by the corrosive acid of guilt, the false belief that you are somehow obligated to continue sacrificing yourself until there is nothing left. It is certainly not a regression to the old, self-erasing pattern of depleting yourself, giving until you utterly disappear from your own life, becoming an invisible presence. No. This connection is now to be held with an unwavering conscious clarity. You are now, by divine decree and universal grace, unequivocally allowed to conserve your precious waters, to staunch the energetic flow that has been so freely given. You are allowed to stop over-explaining your choices, your feelings, or your boundaries to others, particularly to the soul on the other side of this bridge. Your truth stands on its own, You are allowed to cease the exhausting, often futile attempt to fix or manipulate the outcome of this situation, to control the journey or the destination of another soul. Your role is not to steer their ship, but to hold the lighthouse. You are finally allowed to hold the bridge, to maintain its energetic integrity and strength, without, however, becoming the road itself, without allowing yourself to be walked upon, flattened, or consumed by the journey of another. Your divine role is distinct from their path. This is because the final, delicate stretch of a soul contract, much like the last, critical moments of a cosmic performance, is often the most unusual, the most perplexing, and paradoxically, the most potent phase. It is during this crucial window that the other soul, the one you have been supporting, may experience significant wobbles in their newfound footing. They may resist the impending separation, the imminent completion of the crossing, with an almost primal fear. They may instinctively reach for you harder, pulling at the remaining energetic threads with an intensity that might feel overwhelming. Understand that this intensified pulling is not an indication that you are meant to give more, to pour even more of your depleted resources into their vessel. On the contrary, it is a profound, albeit often unconscious, reaction to their own awakening. They can instinctively sense that the crossing is nearly complete, that the bridge is preparing to recede, and this imminent independence, this profound shift away from the familiar energetic tether, absolutely terrifies the part of them that is still deeply attached to the old world, to the old patterns of dependency, to the comfort of your unwavering presence. So if you feel them pull with renewed urgency, if their energetic grasp seems to tighten, it does not, I repeat, it does not mean that you are failing in your mission or that you have somehow miscalculated the timing. It often signifies the exact opposite. It means they are waking up to their own sovereignty, even if that awakening initially manifests as fear and resistance. And conversely, if you find yourself experiencing a sensation of going numb, a quiet retreat within your own energetic field, it doesn't mean that your heart is closing down, that you are becoming emotionally hardened or detached. It often signifies that your wise, protective system is intuitively creating a buffer, erecting a gentle shield around your core, while the last, most intricate threads of the soul contract are meticulously rearranging themselves, recalibrating, preparing for their final graceful release. Your inner knowing is guiding your physical and energetic body through this final, sensitive phase. Just as the deepest waters of a river must swirl and churn, becoming temporarily murky and turbulent as they release old sediment and integrate new currents before they can finally settle into a state of pristine clarity and calm. This swirling, this dynamic movement is a necessary precursor to the purification and renewal that awaits. This is precisely why patience is now being asked of you, not as a harsh command from an external authority, but as a profound act of kindness, a tender mercy toward your own intricate, delicate process. This is because the truly significant spiritual work you have been undertaking, the deep energetic labor you have committed to, is not linear. It does not follow a predictable straight line from point A to point B. It is fundamentally tidal, governed by the ancient rhythmic pulses of the cosmos. And just as the majestic tides of the ocean do not rush, do not force their arrival, but rather gather their immense power and arrive with an undeniable inherent grace and inevitability, so too will the culmination of your work unfold in its perfect divine timing. Trust the rhythm. There's a reason water has always felt like home to you, a primordial comfort, a deep resonance within your soul. If what you're feeling right now, this profound recognition, this stirring in your depths, is confirming something you've carried, perhaps intuitively, your entire life, then the Sirian Water Codes is your essential next step. This sacred compilation holds ancient Sirian healing practices, wisdom passed down through the very waters themselves, imbued with the cosmic memory of that star system. It offers potent techniques for gently releasing energy that was never truly yours, activating dormant memory through the resonant sound of rain and sealing your frequency with the purifying power of salt and sacred intention. You'll find the link to the Sirian water codes in the first pinned comment below, but please be aware this access will only be available briefly. Now pause and breathe deeply with this profound realization. Let it permeate every cell of your being. Let it settle into the very core of your consciousness. What if the profound emptiness you have been fearing, the vast internal void that has caused you such quiet distress, is not in fact a terrifying glimpse into your desolate future? What if, instead, it is the undeniable sacred sign that what was never truly yours to carry, what belonged to another's journey, is finally irrevocable and gracefully leaving your field? And what if the pervasive fatigue that has been your constant companion, the bone-deep weariness that seems to defy all rest, is not, as you might have tragically concluded, your new, diminished baseline for existence? What if instead it is the intense, final labor, the last exquisite push before a monumental, liberating release, a profound unburdening? Because that, my dear soul, is precisely how this intricate divine process so often works, unfold, ding in a sequence that is both subtle and undeniably powerful. First, the profound energetic shifts begin to register initially within the sensitive canvas of your physical body, a new ache, an inexplicable tiredness, a subtle tremor in your being. Then, as these energies stir and shift, the emotions often surge, raw and powerful, like turbulent rapids within your soul, as deep-seated patterns are dislodged and released. Following this, the analytical mind, with its inherent need for understanding and control, scrambles, frantically searching for logical explanations, for a narrative that can make sense of the overwhelming internal experience. And then, quietly, almost imperceptibly, without the dramatic fanfare or fireworks you might expect for such a monumental shift, the threads of the old contract, the energetic tether that bound you, gently loosen, gradually unravel. And in that sacred space of unburdening, a profound realization dawns, washing over you like a wave of pure relief. You can finally, truly breathe again, deeply and fully, perhaps for the first time in what feels like an eternity. So, let us now articulate and name what is truly unfolding within you and around you in a language that your soul, your deepest knowing, can unequivocally recognize and embrace. Things in your life, your inner landscape, and your external circumstances have likely felt profoundly unclear lately. It's as if you've been attempting to perceive reality through a vast, deep body of water that has become heavily fogged, its depths obscured by a thick, shimmering mist. This pervasive fog, this sense of murky uncertainty, is not, let me reassure you, a distressing sign that something is inherently wrong with you, or that your spiritual compass has somehow malfunctioned. On the contrary, it is the entirely natural, indeed necessary phenomenon that occurs when deeply entrenched, ancient patterns, old timelines, and outmoded ways of being begin their profound process of dissolution and release. The spiritual waters, just like physical waters, must inevitably become stirred and murky as they shed old sediment, as they release all that no longer serves, before they can possibly achieve a state of pristine clarity. You are not lost in this fog. You are in fact deeply and powerfully in transition, and to navigate such a profound soul-level transition requires a tremendous, often unseen courage, even, and perhaps especially, when the feeling of courage is completely absent, replaced instead by a profound vulnerability. There is something ancient and profoundly wise encoded within the very fabric of your being, a deep knowing that extends far beyond any knowledge or conditioning you have acquired in this particular lifetime, or indeed any lifetime. Your magnificent soul carries within it an intricate divine blueprint, an exquisite inner design written not in the fleeting characters of human language, but in the eternal resonant frequencies of the cosmos. You are not, and have never been, a broken being desperately searching for fragmented answers to make yourself whole. No. You are an inherently whole, luminous being, and what you are experiencing now is the profound process of beginning to remember, to consciously recall that which has always resided within you. And this sacred remembering often begins not as a dramatic revelation, but as a quiet, insistent feeling. You cannot quite intellectualize or explain, a gentle yet powerful pull towards something you have never consciously seen or encountered in this earthly realm. Yet somehow, deep within your soul, you unequivocally recognize it as home, as truth. And then, as if by divine orchestration, comes the phase of profound stillness, a quiet, expansive space where you might find yourself wondering, with a touch of anxiety, if you are doing anything at all, if any progress is actually being made. This is precisely the point where panic, that primal fear of stagnation, often begins to set in, because externally, nothing seems to be overtly moving or changing. But understand this deeply. This stillness is not a state of stalling. It is not a regression. It is, in fact, a deeply active, essential process of anchoring. Imagine a mighty river, after having navigated treacherous rapids and carved its path through towering mountains, pausing in a wide, calm, and exquisitely serene pool. This pause is not an end. It is a sacred moment of integration, of deep rest, allowing the waters to gather their strength, to settle their currents, before they courageously find the next passage, the next cascading journey through even greater challenges. Your entire energetic system is in this sacred phase of stabilizing, of integrating and deeply anchoring all that it has already carried and processed, preparing itself with profound wisdom to gracefully hold and receive what comes next in your evolutionary journey. Be incredibly gentle with yourself during this phase, for it is profoundly sacred, a crucible of deep, silent transformation. Next, you will begin to feel the powerful, undeniable current shifting around you, an energetic realignment that permeates every aspect of your existence. Perhaps certain relationships that once felt foundational will subtly or even dramatically change their dynamics, their resonance no longer aligning with your evolving frequency. Perhaps certain places, once sources of comfort or meaning, will suddenly feel heavier, denser, or simply irrelevant to your newly calibrated being. Understand that these external shifts are not mere coincidences, not random happenstance. They are direct, unavoidable manifestations of the profound internal recalibration occurring within your core. When one major energetic current within your being changes direction, when your core frequency shifts, then everything downstream, every connection, every circumstance, every aspect of your external reality is inevitably and beautifully affected. You don't need to proactively announce your profound transformation to the world, to issue declarations, or seek external validation. You are already actively, powerfully transmitting it through your very essence, through the radiant frequency you now embody. And those souls, those experiences, those opportunities that are truly meant to resonate with your authentic, newly clarified vibration will find you, effortlessly, gracefully, without any need for you to chase or pursue them. They will be drawn to your light. Then, with a tender inevitability, the process of letting go truly begins, a phase that can, for many, feel profoundly akin to the deep, aching pangs of grief. This is because this sacred shedding asks you to consciously release what you have been carrying for so long, what you have held so intimately, that it has slowly, subtly begun to feel indistinguishable from your very identity. It demands that you release the myriad expectations that were placed upon you by a world, by individuals, who through no fault of their own simply did not possess the spiritual sight to truly know or understand the profound being that you are. It necessitates the conscious release of immense emotional weight that by divine right belong to others, yet settle deep within your highly sensitive energetic field simply because your empathetic nature was attuned enough, vast enough to absorb it. Know this truth unequivocally. You have absolute divine permission to set it all down, to unburden yourself without guilt or hesitation. Consider the wisdom of the mighty river. It does not, in its relentless flow, attempt to carry every single stone, every piece of debris, every relic of the past that it encounters along its journey. With an inherent wisdom, it allows those elements that are not integral to its forward flow to gently sink, to settle back into the earth, and then, with an unshakable resolve, it simply keeps flowing, ever onward, towards its vast oceanic destination. And then allow this most tender, most liberating truth to permeate your soul. You are not by any measure behind schedule in your life's journey. You are not late for your divine appointments, nor have you missed your cosmic boat. The perceived delays, the unexpected detours, the years, perhaps even decades, of not fully understanding what you were so profoundly feeling, of grappling with an unseen burden, none, absolutely none of it, was ever wasted time or a misstep in your grand design. In the vast, intricate tapestry of existence, there is only the perfect moment, the divinely appointed timing, and yours is unfolding with exquisite precision and grace, right here, right now. Just as the majestic tide, with its immense, irresistible power, does not rush its arrival, does not accelerate its rhythm, yet it always, without fail, unfailingly arrives at the shore, bringing with it both renewal and release. Your moment is here. Finally, in the wake of this profound unburdening and realignment, there comes the gentle, profound return of presence. Not a dramatic, performative arrival, not a sudden burst of fireworks or external accolades, but simply a return to what is deeply, intrinsically real. You step back into the vibrant current of your own life, your own authentic flow, without any need to force it, without pushing or striving against the natural rhythm. Your most profound mission, your highest service, begins simply with being here, fully, completely, unequivocally present in this moment, in your body, in your life. The ancient builders, those master architects who envisioned and brought forth the magnificent structures by the Nile, understood this profound truth. The most powerful, transformative act is not necessarily the grand, outwardly visible gesture, but rather the quiet, unwavering, and deeply rooted alignment of a soul with its own true, inherent frequency, its divine resonance. You are not required to solve the entirety of your life's complex equation today, or to unravel every mystery that still lingers. You are simply invited, with immense compassion, to stop abandoning yourself, to cease the internal exile, while you patiently, trustingly await the final, crystalline clarity that is already on its way. And now, let us delve into the deepest, most foundational truth of all, a truth that echoes through the very chambers of your soul. You were never ever meant to be depleted forever, to exist in a perpetual state of energetic scarcity. This profound connection you have been holding, this energetic bridge you have so faithfully maintained for another's passage, it was never, by its divine design, intended to utterly consume you, to drain your life force until nothing remained. On the contrary, it was meticulously designed with one singular sacred purpose: to complete a specific vital passage, to facilitate a necessary transition in the journey of another soul. And the reason it has felt so incredibly intense, so profoundly pressurized in these recent times, is precisely because it has been nearing its final, exquisite shape, its destined configuration, much like the intricate dance of sacred geometry, realigning itself with perfect precision within the energetic field of your being. It's always during these last critical adjustments, these final recalibrations, that the pressure often feels the most intense, the most acute, because everything, every subtle thread, every energetic nuance, every cosmic piece of the puzzle is rapidly, irrevocably finding its exact, perfect place, its final resting point within the divine matrix. What you have courageously called sacrifice, the untold giving of yourself, the pouring out of your essence, has not been ignored by the cosmos. It has been seen, honored, and recorded in the highest registers of universal memory. What you have perceived as unseen labor, the invisible burdens carried, the silent energetic work performed in the quiet hours, has not gone unrecorded. Every single act of selfless holding, every drop of energy given, is etched into the very fabric of creation. And what you have whispered in your moments of profound vulnerability, the heartfelt cry of, "I don't know how much longer I can do this," has not only been heard, but it has resonated deeply through the cosmic archives, signaling the imminent arrival of your much-deserved release. And the profound renewal you have been so desperately craving, so earnestly longing for, is not merely a comforting fantasy, a mirage shimmering on the horizon of your deepest desires. It is an undeniable, inherent natural law, a fundamental principle of the universe, as steadfast and inevitable as the rising sun. When a bridge has valiantly served its profound purpose, when its sacred function has been fully completed, the keystone, that magnificent, unassuming stone that bore so much silent pressure, is not left to crumble into disuse, abandoned to the elements. No. It is by divine right relieved of its immense burden. It is lovingly restored to its original pristine energetic state. It is with reverence and gratitude returned to its own sovereign self, whole and complete once more. So if a deep-seated fear has been lingering in the quiet corners of your heart, the terrifying thought that you might never again feel truly like yourself, never reclaim the vibrant essence of your being, then listen now. With the full attention of your soul, you absolutely will. You will return to yourself fully and completely, not the version of you who habitually overgave, constantly sacrificing your own needs in a desperate, often unconscious attempt to remain safe, to be accepted, or to avoid perceived rejection. Not the version of you who stayed connected, tethered by the heavy chains of guilt, believing it was your spiritual obligation to suffer. Not the version of you who tirelessly tried to earn love, to prove your worthiness by shouldering immense, crippling weight that was never truly yours to carry. No, you will feel like you, the authentic, radiant, unburdened you, the way you were always inherently meant to feel. You will feel clear, like crystalline waters after a long storm has finally passed. All the sediment settled, all the turbulence subsided. You will feel quiet, a deep, resonant stillness within, where the incessant clamor of external demands no longer penetrates your inner sanctuary. You will feel profoundly, gloriously whole, reunited with every fragmented piece of your sacred self. Like water after the storm passes, you will still be dynamically moving, flowing with the inherent current of life, but no longer turbulent, no longer agitated by the storms of the past. A new serenity will permeate your being. Therefore, if the deepest knowing of your soul, your profound intuition, is gently, clearly asking you to stay connected just a little while longer, do so. But understand that this is not a directive to be consumed, to be endlessly drained, but rather to gracefully complete what is already, by cosmic design, nearly complete. You are in the final, sacred moments of this profound soul contract. And while you fulfill this final tender act of holding, begin with intentionality and self-compassion to actively prepare your magnificent return to yourself. Drink water as if it is the most potent, life-giving medicine, for it is. Hydrate your body, your cells, your energetic field, nourishing every part of your being. Sleep when your body and soul call for it, honoring the sacred rhythm of rest and replenishment, allowing your system to integrate and heal in the dream time. Consciously reduce the need for emotional explanations, for lengthy justifications of your choices or feelings. Allow your truth to stand on its own without external validation. Stop negotiating with what your intuition already knows, with the undeniable wisdom that resonates within your deepest core. Trust that inner voice implicitly. And finally, let your boundaries become simple and profoundly calm, like a majestic shoreline that, in its very existence, does not offer apologies for its presence, for its defined edges, for the sacred space it occupies. It simply is, holding its ground with unwavering grace and quiet power. Tonight, if it resonates deeply within your heart, if it feels like a sacred and powerful act of reclaiming yourself, gently place your hand over your heart, connecting to its beating wisdom, and in a quiet, resonant whisper, speak these profound affirmations. I remember who I am. I trust the ancient, sacred waters that have carried me here through every current and every storm. And now, with an open heart and a sovereign spirit, I am ready to flow into what comes next, into the glorious new chapter that awaits me. Before you go, leave one word in the comments, just one, that describes what you felt during this message. Then find someone else's word and respond with encouragement. This isn't just a comment section, it's a space where starseeds recognize each other. And that recognition carries more power than you know. If something in this message touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you'd like to keep receiving these transmissions, subscribe. The waters of Sirius will carry us to the next one. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your space, and I'm grateful you were here.